Hello, everyone. Have you ever heard of a story called Gulliver's Travels? It's been a favorite for, almost 300 years. And it's not just some simple adventure story. Oh no, it's really a deep look at our world, our rules, and even ourselves. We see it all through the eyes of one man on this just incredible journey. So, are you ready? Let's get started.
So, let's start with a big question for you. Think about it. What can travel teach us? Really teach us. This story, Gulliver's Travels, it shows us something amazing. It shows that just by changing where you are, you can completely change how you see everything. And that includes how you see yourself.
All right, so who is this main character, this traveler of ours? You might think he's a king or maybe some famous hero, right? Nope. He's actually a pretty ordinary guy, a doctor, who just has this amazing curiosity about the world. Come on, let's meet him.
Okay, so his name is Lemuel Gulliver. And yeah, he's a doctor, but his real passion, it's the sea. He loves to travel. And this love for discovery, that's what kicks off this whole unforgettable story. This desire for adventure is going to take him to places he can't even begin to imagine.
So, Gulliver's very first journey. Wow, it throws him right into a world that's going to test everything he thinks he knows. About size, about power, even about politics. This is where his way of seeing things, his perspective, really starts to change in a big, big way.
It all starts with a huge storm. A terrible storm at sea just destroys his ship. Suddenly, Gulliver is all alone in the big, angry ocean. He swims and swims until he has no more strength left. And finally, he washes up on the shore of a strange island. He's so tired, he just falls into a deep, deep sleep.
So when Gulliver finally wakes up, he realizes he can't move. Not at all. Why? Because he's tied to the ground. And then he sees them, the people who tied him up. They're the people of this island, the Lilliputians. Now get this. They are a whole group of people who are only 6 inches tall. Can you imagine? To them, Gulliver isn't a man, he's a mountain.
Right, so in this land of Lilliput, Gulliver is a giant. At first, of course, the tiny people are super scared of him, but pretty soon they realize he's a gentle guy. And you know what happens? He actually becomes a powerful helper for them, like a secret weapon they can use in their little wars. So here, Gulliver gets to learn what it feels like to be really powerful and important.
Okay, so he was a giant, but what happens next? Well, on his very next trip, Gulliver is about to find out what it's like when everything is flipped upside down, when the roles are completely reversed. Let's see how things change for him now.
So he sets out again, and this time he comes to a new land. It's called Brobdingnag. And here, oh boy, everything is different. In this place, Gulliver is the one who's small. He's the one who's weak. The world for him is now a huge and dangerous place.
The people who live here, the Brobdingnagians, they're giants. They're as tall as the steeples on a church. And next to them, Gulliver is like a tiny little bug, or maybe a small doll. His entire world has been turned completely upside down.
So now, in this land of giants, Gulliver is so fragile. Think about it. A normal house cat becomes a terrifying monster. A little pet monkey is a deadly threat. A simple trip and fall could easily end his life. He's totally helpless. And now, he really understands what it feels like to be small and weak.
And this is where we see the book's first really big idea, right? Look at the difference. In Lilliput, Gulliver is big. But in Brobdingnag, Gulliver is small. He's the exact same person, right? But whether he's important or powerful, that totally depends on the world around him. It's all about perspective.
Now we come to Gulliver's final journey. And this one is the most important one. It's also the most challenging. You see, this journey isn't about physical size anymore. It's not about being big or small. No, this one is about the size of your mind and the size of your heart. It's about what it even means to be human.
Here, he meets a group called the Houyhnhnms. Now, they look like horses, but they can talk, and they are incredibly intelligent and rational and just perfectly good. They live in a society that's built on truth and reason. In fact, they don't even have a word in their language for a lie. To Gulliver, they seem perfect. But in the very same land, he also finds another group, the Yahoos. And they are the complete opposite. They are wild, dirty, greedy creatures that look,
well, they look exactly like humans. They fight all the time, they scream, and they only live for themselves. For Gulliver, looking at a Yahoo, it's like looking into a terrible, terrible mirror. So after all these unbelievable journeys, Gulliver finally makes it back home to England. But he's not the same man who left all those years ago. Not at all. His travels have changed him, forever. Deep down, in a way that he can never undo.
When he gets home, he looks at his own people, his own country, with completely new eyes. You see, after seeing the silly, tiny politics in Lilliput, and after seeing the perfect, logical life of the Huanyanams, he just can't accept the pride and the greed and the foolishness of his own people anymore. He starts to see the Yahoo inside everyone.
So what's the big lesson here? What did Gulliver learn? Well, he learned that the world is a big, diverse place. He learned that not everyone thinks the same way we do. And he learned that our ideas about what's big or small or what's right and wrong, they can change. But maybe the most important lesson is this. To become truly wise, you have to be willing to see the world, and to see yourself, from a totally different point of view.
And that brings us right back to our very first question, doesn't it? This amazing story shows us that the greatest journeys don't just take us to new places on a map. No, they lead us to a new understanding of who we are. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. What journey in your life has changed you the most? What trip made you the person you are today?